Alrighty, what is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Benny the Booth Podcast. Gonna get everything set up and we'll be ready to go. Hope everyone's day's going well, week's going well. Uh, and if you can't tell, yes, I do have better lighting because I recently, for birthday present, got a halo light to improve lighting for every podcast episode. So I have a new light over here. It's not, can't see it, but I do have new lighting. And they just set it up today. Okay. That's here. Let me export chat in case someone talk about chat. Just in case someone comes in and says something. Okay, what is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Betting in the Booth Podcast, episode 151. Thanks so much for the support at this point. I very much do appreciate it. I have not done Immaculate Grid today, and I saved two teams from the daily walk-off to do for the podcast. Let's get right into it. Today's Immaculate Grid, you have Blue Jays. Hold on. Sorry. There we go. Blue Jays, Phillies, and played center field minimum of one game on the top going cross, and then going down is Tigers, Marlins, and 3+ stolen base season. So for Tigers and Blue Jays, let's run through possible answers. There's Curtis Granderson. There's who else is there? There's Jack Morris. Thank you. Who else is there for Tigers and Blue Jays? Oh, I just realized someone that's probably gonna be a very rare answer. Remember the I think 15, if not 15 and 16, or just 16 Blue Jays, Ezekiel Guerrero. 0.1%, I will take that. Okay. Tigers, Phillies. There's Placido Polanco comes to mind. Mm, I don't think Hank Greenberg. I think the only team Hank Greenberg played for was Pirates besides for also Hall of Fame, the not as cared about ballot results came out. We'll talk about that. Tigers, Phillies. Sizemore didn't play for the Tigers. So I just realized I might be able to use Sizemore. Oh no, wait, no, never mind. Tigers and Phillies. Oh, there's Castellanos, but that's gonna be like one of not the most obvious answer in the book. Oh, K-Rod snuck in like a year with Phillies, or not? I thought he did. But I guess not. I don't know. I'm gonna come back to it. Tigers played center field minimum of one game. I've got someone that I randomly was like hearing about recently that was like a 2000s Tiger Victor Reyes 0.1%. I'll take that. Okay. Marlins and Blue Jays. Granderson also fits here if I wanted to use Granderson. Cliff Floyd, I think, played for the Blue Jays, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. I'm making things up. Let me see. He did not. Never mind. Played for Tampa, but Not what I was looking for. No, I didn't play for Philly. Burnett fits here. He also fits. You know what? I'm gonna use AJ Burnett for Marlins Phillies because he's more remembered for Blue Jay than Philly. Then again, both were even. 4%. I will take that. Marlins and Blue Jays. Sean Delgado fits there. Sean Green, no. Stanton, no. Zuna, no. Yelich, no. Uh, what are you? Hmm. Here, no. Even no. Like trying to think of Blue Jays and Marlins. I could go with Granderson, but I'm honestly gonna come back to it. But I can use Granderson for Marlins center fielder, or apparently not. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna use Granderson for Marlins Blue Jays. 2%. I'll take it. Um, 30 plus stolen base season playing center field. Didn't Grace Sizemore have a 30 season or 2020 or something like that? Yeah, Grady. Okay. I definitely want to fill out Tigers Phillies. Placido Polanco comes to mind. Castellanos comes to mind. I don't think he did. I don't think either of you did. Honestly, I want to check. He did not. Yes. Well, MLB draft lotteries going on, but I don't care. Phillies and Tigers. Phillies and Tigers. Phillies and Tigers. Why am I like blinking out on someone that played for the Phillies and the Tigers? This is bugging me right now. Phillies and Tigers. Um, Ronnie, I don't think did. I really thought K-Rod did. Yeah, I Fred Roddy not. Someone I think like sneakily played for a whole bunch of teams. Just came to my mind. I'm curious. Nope. JC Romero. No. Um. Oh, Madsen. You somehow sneak in a year with the Tigers? No. There's no way you did, right? No. Wagner definitely didn't. Shane Green? Why do I have an image in my mouth? I mean, I know he played for Braves, but no. Oh, Alvarado, no. If anyone's in here and has any ideas for someone I could use for Phillies, Tigers, let me know. Like stuck at the moment. Let's see somebody. I know I selected the right K-Rod because his first year was with the O2 Angels. Yeah, no. He definitely played for Detroit. He might have signed the minor league deal but never played in the majors. This is bugging me. Fielder, no. Smell you. I mean, I know Tigers was honestly surprised with me. No. That would have been a fun pull if Hernan Perez was somehow a Tiger. I don't think you were, but I'm desperate enough to check. No. I'm like at this point checking random names. Dirks, no. Oh! I am so stupid. I just realized someone thinking about the 2010s Tigers that fits for both because he snuck in a year with the Phillies. Delvin Young, 0.6%. I will take that. Center field minimum of one game for Marlins. I might as well just have this be the last tab I fill out. You know what? Because I had randomly been thinking about him today. Did you ever, when you fit here? No. Jeff Conine. No. Miggy? No, he played outfield for Marlins. No. Delgado? Somehow? I doubt this, but honestly, desperate enough. My Alex career. I doubt this is gonna be someone that fits, but fudge it. Try to get creative, you know. Mm-mm. Uh, how about you? I think I found someone that could fit. Yeah. Random member of the '03 Marlins and the '06 Cardinals, Juan Encarnacion. 209 rarity score. Pretty good given all things considered. It's like 100 or 200 for every spot you miss. Top answers 20% for Tigers, Blue Jays is David Price. I forgot about that one. Tigers, Phillies, top answer 26% is Nick Castellanos, as I predicted. Tigers center field minimum of one game, 16% is Granderson. Marlins Blue Jays 13% is Jose Reyes. Marlins Phillies 35% is JT Realmuto. Marlins center fielder minimum of one game, 19% is Juan Pierre. 30 plus stolen base season for the Blue Jays is 32% is Roberto Alomar. For Phillies, 30 plus stolen base season is Jimmy Rollins. And center fielder minimum of one game for 30 plus stolen base season is Ricky Henderson. So that is today's Immaculate Grid, and we're going to switch it to now daily walk-off. So basically, it's like connections, but you're given the categories, and you just have to figure out what player goes where. So the two teams I did not do and I have for today's episode are the Padres and the Nationals, and I get 3 outs to put everyone in the right place. Okay, let's get people I know I have an idea would be on the Padres in 2000s. Klesko would be 2000s. Caminiti, I think. Tolbert, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Nevin, I believe so. Ashby's a pitcher, so he's gonna be more likely all stars. Winfield, I imagine. Winfield might not even played enough. Honestly, let's submit this and see how this goes. No full categories correct, but I definitely got some answers correct. Okay, so Caminiti's not 2000. Flip him with Nevin. Flip Colbert with Martin. Davis with Jackson and Winfield with Jackson. How about this? Okay, so I have all the 100 plus homers with San Diego correct, and Winfield, Caminiti, and Colbert. The other three, I now have to figure out who goes where. Let's flip Martin with Davis, Davis with Jackson. Does that give it? And everything is correct. 3 tries. Well, the answers for 2000 mainly played outfielder for the Padres in 2000. Eric Owens, Al Martin, and Ruben Rivera. For infield would be Ryan Klesko, Phil Nevin, and Damian Jackson. 2000 mainly played infield. For 100 plus homers for San Diego, it's Dave Winfield, Ken Caminiti, and Nate Colbert. And 2 plus All Stars with San Diego through 2023, Mark Davis, Heath Bell, and Andy Ashby. So now let's do the Nationals. This should be interesting because 2000s was not a good time in Nationals history. Okay. Daniel Murphy was definitely not there in 2000. Vidro, I'm pretty sure, was. Rondell White, I don't think was, so I can flip him. Jordan Zimmerman's going to be would be all-star. Strasburg would be all-star. Guerrero is going to be outfield. Let's honestly submit this and see how this goes. Okay. So definitely have some stuff here correct. Not anything fully correct, but at least progress. Let's flip Blum with Bergeron, Murphy with White, and then White with Bailey. And there it goes. 2 turns. So the correct answers: 2000 primary mainly played outfield for the Nationals. Peter Bergeron, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., and Rondell White. Obviously, of course, in 2000 they were still the Montreal Expos. 2000 mainly played infield. Jose Vidro, Lee Stevens, and Jeff Blum. This 2000 would be 40. There would be 5 years, I think. 5 years before they officially moved to DC. And then 100 plus homers for the Nationals or Expos would be Bob Bailey, Jason Worth, and Anthony Rendon. And 2 plus All-Stars with the Nationals / Expos through 2023, Daniel Murphy, Jordan Zimmerman, and Steven Strasburg. So that is the good and daily walk-off for today. Of December December 10th. Now I want to find one thing for I want to find the votes totals from this ballot again. Wait, I'm so stupid. 2025 base. Well, the true baseball ballot doesn't come out till January, so we have a while till the main ballot comes out. Here we go. So, before we get into the main news of transactions since last week's episode, hold on one moment. The Classic Baseball Committee came out 2 days ago and announced the people that made it into the Hall of Fame, which there were 2, and I'm going to give you my view of is it worthy picks or not. So the options were Dave Parker, Dick Allen, Tommy John, Ken Boyer, John Donaldson, Steve Garvey, Vic Harris, and Luis Tiant. Honestly, before I even dive into who made it, though, you can see it if you're watching on YouTube. out of these options, like honestly, a whole bunch of them I could see in the Hall of Fame. Steve Garvey, who I've met in person, I think has a good chance for Hall of Fame. Luis Tiant, I think, could be a very fair chance for Hall of Famer. John Donaldson from his legend, definitely. Ken Boyer, I don't know much about. Vic Harris, I don't know much about. And then as for those who made it, is Dave Parker and Dick Allen. Dave Parker getting 87.5% of the votes, Dick Allen getting 81.3% of the votes, Tommy John getting 43.8% of the votes, uh, with Parker getting 14 votes, Allen getting 13, Tommy John getting 7, and Boyer, Donaldson, Garvey, Harris, and Tiant getting less than 5 votes each. So, as for who made it, what's my view on them? So I don't know much about Dick Allen's career. I've heard a lot of great things, but I haven't watched much of highlights. Also, he was like older era. So, but from what I hear, I think it's a valid choice. And with Dave Parker, he's one of those guys that was like very good at in his career. And I'll show you his Wikipedia page. He was with a whole bunch of teams. He won 2 World Series, one with the Pirates and one with the A's. And he's like one of those guys where you don't expect him to be in the Hall of Fame, but you don't mind him being in the Hall of Fame because he has like a very good career resume: 2,712 career hits, 339 career homers, 290 average. Was very good hitter and a very good, pretty in a somewhat decent fielder. Like he's one of those guys I put it as like you would never expect him to be in the Hall of Fame, but you're not mad or upset or you're happy that he made the Hall of Fame. That's my view on Dave Parker making Hall of Fame. Dick Allen, I just don't know much about his career. I've never really studied it that much, but solid numbers here. Um, but very much worthy. I'll put it this way: I think he's much better choices than Harold Baines when that happened a few years ago. But I definitely think that it was that they're not that they're solid choices. And congrats to both of them. And they'll be a part of the Cooperstown selection uh, for 20 for this upcoming class. Does it say? No, it doesn't say which which alt group will have a committee next year. Let's see if I can find something. No. Trying to see if I can like find a way as to uh, I don't know. But yeah, that was the results from the ballot, and that's who made it in to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Baseball moves. There were some big moves and some small moves between the last 2 episodes. Between since last episode of the podcast, one of the big moves: Juan Soto officially signed, but he's not returning to the Yankees. He is staying in New York and going to the Mets, which was like mind blowing me. I thought he was going to stay with the Yankees, but apparently it also came, and the difference in the contract value was like 5 million, but apparently like a whole bunch more in guaranteed money or bonus signing bonus. But I was shocked he left the Yankees. I was just like, what? And then on top of that, he goes to in-state team in the New York Mets. And what's crazy is already Yankees fans on that night, if not the day after, were already burning their Juan Soto jerseys, which is just crazy. And like him returning back to Yankee Stadium as a Met is going to be something to watch. See how fans are going to react. This could be crazy when he makes his return to Yankee Stadium in I believe mid May, mid late May. of 2025. But yeah, that's gonna be something. But I was just like, what? Not even the only crazy puzzling move that's happened. Blake trying to re-sign with the Dodgers makes sense. He was very good with them last year, and honestly, have every reason to bring him back. 2-year deal worth $22 million. He is also on the older side, so understandable. He only got a 2-year deal. Jordan Romano signing a 1-year deal, $8 million with Phillies. Was pretty good reliever in 2023. Got hurt though last year and ran into some trouble numbers wise, not like the law. Uh, that could be something worth it for the Phillies, but who knows at this point. Just gonna have to wait to see. Tyler O'Neill going from the Red Sox to in-division rival Baltimore Orioles, 3 years, $49.5 million deal, especially with the wall change because they did announce they're changing the walls again in Camden Yards. I honestly like the move for the Orioles. Whether it actually plays out good for them, who knows? But I honestly like the move for them to add him. How are you going to situate that outfield though between him and your rookie of the year candidate Colton Cowser? That's a whole nother story. If I had to guess, one of them, I mean, I imagine one's going to move to right and the other stays in left, or one of them becomes a DH. Especially though, because we don't know if Anthony Santander is returning to the Orioles yet. He hasn't officially announced if he's staying or not. Um, I'm doing the podcast right now. Can come back. Sorry about that. Gary Sanchez signed a 1-year deal for $8.5 million with the Baltimore Orioles. This was an odd signing out of nowhere, but who knows? Maybe it amounts to something. Another in division signing. Danny Jansen went from the Rain Blue Jays to the Red Sox midseason, and now from the Red Sox to the Rays on a 1-year, $8.5 million deal. He honestly hasn't really done much in his career. But I don't know, maybe the Rays see something that we don't see. Shane Bieber resigns with Cleveland Guardians, 1-year, $10 million. Honestly, I understand it and fair enough. He did pretty good when healthy with Cleveland, and I don't see why he wouldn't stay there. Though he's coming off injury, of course. Alex Cobb signs a 1-year deal with the Detroit Tigers. This was an interesting move, leaving where he shined brightly with Cleveland. Catcher Kyle Higashioka, after being with the Padres last year, does not stay in San Diego and signs with the Texas Rangers 2 years, $12.5 million deal. That is definitely an interesting move that he didn't stay with San Diego, but a solid pickup for Texas, though. I wonder what they're going to do with what that means for Jonah Heim, because they still have Jonah Heim. Clay Holmes signs with the New York Mets, 3 years, $38 million deal, though it's also to become a starter, which I'll say this is one move I think the Yankees are fine not doing because one, he got way too many years. Two, he got way too much money. And three, he's becoming a starter. He should not have gotten a 3-year deal. It should be like a 1-year deal. It should not be 38 million. It should be like maybe 10 or I don't know, like but not 38 million. And becoming a starter, well, who knows what he's gonna be like as a starter because I don't know if he's ever started and been a starter in his career before. Well, let me see. But yeah, honestly, I think the Yankees let down in not keeping Clay Holmes. Uh, no, never a starter. I mean, he had 4 starts in 2018 in his call-up year, but not really ever a starter. Also, honestly, if I had to guess, those probably were like started out of the bullpen for a bullpen game, but who knows? Either way, back to the moves that happened. Frankie Montas signed a 2-year deal, $34 million with the New York Mets. This was an interesting odd signing. I don't know. I don't even know much to say about it. And then one of the craziest of them all that's happened. Also, Michael Conforto signed with the Dodgers. I didn't include that in the notes. And Blake Snell signed with the Dodgers. I forget if that was in last week's episode or not. But Willie Adames is signing with the San Francisco Giants, 7 years, $182 million deal. They can finally get a big name piece in free agency after they've been trying for years and years and years and have not worked out, whether it's Correa or Judge. So many, and yet had not worked out until Willie Adames. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for Willie. in San Francisco. But that's all the moves that have happened between this week's and last week's episode. So let's dive into college football. My predictions for conference championship game, I went 3-3. My gutsy predictions did not go so great. But even some of the regular ones did not go so great either. So let's go through it. Mountain West, number 10 Boise State beat number 20, UNLV 21-7. Ashton GT has rushed for 2,288 yards this season for an average of 190.7 rushing yards per game. The only two FBS players to hit both marks in the same season are Marcus Allen 1981 and Barry Sanders 1988. Both won the Heisman that respective season, though whether GT wins the Heisman or not, given his competition mainly is Travis Hunter, who knows. But I did correctly pick Boise State over UNLV. In the AAC, number 24 Army beat Tulane 35-14. Congrats to Army. I did get this pick right. I was hoping Army would win. That was the games from Friday. From Saturday, Big 12, Arizona State beat Iowa State 45-19, 15-16. Cam Scabo has rushed for 1,568 yards while also having 506 receiving yards. He is the first FBS player to hit both marks in the same season since Christian McCaffrey in 2015. For the SEC championship game, Georgia pulled off the upset in overtime, even with their starting quarterback getting hurt in Carson Beck, 22-19. Which the fact Texas lost this game is embarrassing. They should not have lost the game, given Georgia was down to their backup QB. Or number 1 Oregon beat number 3 Penn State 45-37. It was not close early, but Penn State kept it close in the end, but did not do enough to beat Oregon. And then in the ACC championship game, the last upset of the weekend, number 17 Clemson beat number 8 SMU 34-31 as SMU just allowed Clemson to basically go down and kick the game-winning field goal in the end of regulation to win the game. Conference championship games, I went 3-3 in my prediction. So the final college football playoff rankings. I will go through the matchups afterwards, but I'm just going to go through the rankings first. Number 1 is Oregon. They were 1 last week. Number 2 is Georgia flipping from 5 to 2. Number 3 is Texas moving down 1 from 2. Number 4 is Penn State moving down 1 from 3. Number 5 is Notre Dame moving down 1 from 4. Number 6 is still Ohio State. Number 7 is still Tennessee. Number 8 is Indiana after moving up from 9. Number 9 is Boise State. Moving up from 10. Oh, I'll finish the rankings and then breaking news just popped up. Number 10 moving down from 8 is SMU. Number 11 still is Alabama. Number 12 is from number 8 is from number 15 is Arizona State. Number 13 from number 12 is Miami. Number 14 from 13 is Ole Miss. Number 15 from 14 is South Carolina. Number 16 from 17 is Clemson. Number 17 from 18 is BYU. Number 18 from number 16 is Iowa State. Number 19 is still Missouri. Number 20 from 21 is Illinois. Number 21 from 22 is Syracuse. Number 22 from 24 is Army. Number 23 is still Colorado. Number 24 from 20 is UNLV, and number 25 is still Memphis. That is the final college football playoff rankings. Breaking news to report on the podcast. Max Fried, who I had said he might be signing while this episode is recording, well, he just signed. He signed it with the New York Yankees. 8 years, $218 million. The Yankees just got a big upgrade to their rotation. Yeah, now they're really going to be – that's going to be a really – scary rotation. Cole, Rodon, and Max Fried. If Nestor Cortez gets good, and then Cortez, that's going to be a rotation to look out for. They also have Clark Schmidt and Luis Gill, but that's a bit concerning if you're anyone that's not the Yankees. So the bracket setup, number 1 is Oregon, number 2 is Georgia, number 3 is Boise State, number 4 is Arizona State. It's obviously not. It's not the same as the actual rankings. This is its own setup, though. They said it might change in the future. Number 5 is Texas. Number 6 is Penn State. Number 7 is Notre Dame. Number 8 is Ohio State. Number 9 is Tennessee. Number 10 is Indiana. Number 11 is SMU. Number 12 is Clemson. So as for the schedule, this week is Army Navy week, so there's no college football playoff games yet this week. It's going to be next weekend, Friday and Saturday. Schedule for that Friday, the one game is Notre Dame hosting Indiana, 8 p.m. on ABC/ESPN, which will be the first Notre Dame home game to not be on NBC since like the 1990s, I believe it was. But for the, I'm going to go through the schedule and then I'll go through my picks. I have a full bracket picks, by the way. Saturday, the first game is going to be SMU at Penn State, 12 p.m. on TNT/Max. I don't know why it's on TNT, this game and the next one, but I don't know. If I'm Penn State, I'm making that game a whiteout game. I don't care that it's a day game and that most of the whiteout games are night games. You got to make this one a whiteout game. I'm sorry, but if you don't, you're doing disgrace to the whole idea and concept of whiteout game. At 4 p.m., also on TNT/Max, number 5 Texas hosts number 12 Clemson, and then at 8 p.m. on ABC/ESPN, number 9 Tennessee, 9 seed Tennessee visits number 8 seed Ohio State. Which, if you're wondering, at the moment, no, it's not reported to be snowing. It's reported to be cold but not snowing. But we'll see if that changes between now and when the actual games start playing. And as for the quarterfinals matchups, Oregon takes on the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee. That will be the Rose Bowl, 5 p.m. On January 1st. Number 2, Georgia takes on the winner of Indiana, Notre Dame, which is going to be in the Sugar Bowl, 8:45 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Number 3, Boise State takes on the winner of Penn State SMU in the Fiesta Bowl on January 31st, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. And then Arizona State takes on the winner of Texas Clemson in the Peach Bowl, 1 p.m. on ESPN, also on January 1st. And then the semifinals will be the Orange Bowl on January 9th at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. And then January 10th will be the Cotton Bowl, 7:30, also on ESPN. More than less, it's possible this isn't how it will be set up, but potentially set up to be that the Orange will be between the winner of the 1 seed versus the 8 or 9 seed versus the winner of 4 seed versus the 5 or winner of 5 or 12 game would be Orange Bowl, and then 2 versus 7-10 winner versus 3 versus 6-11 winner seeing each other in the Cotton Bowl. And then national championship game is going to be in Atlanta on January 20th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. So let's get into my predictions. So starting with the first round, Notre Dame hosting Indiana. I'm actually calling for a road upset. I'm calling Indiana to win this game. SMU at Penn State. This year, you might think I might pick Penn State, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Ohio State fan, but honestly, they do not have a good resume with playing ranked opponents or highly ranked opponents in their history under James Franklin, and I think that will continue. I do have SMU winning that game. Texas Clemson, I have Texas winning. Ohio State Tennessee, I sat back and forth on this because I'm like, there's part of me that feels Ohio State can go on a ride. The other part of me is like, they shouldn't go on a ride, so Ryan Day could finally be gone. So, but in my predictions, going on just my neutral perspective, I think Ohio State would be able to win this one. That is for the first round. So, second round, first matchup would be on January 31st, would be Boise State against SMU. I have Boise State winning that game. I'm honestly not sure if much of anyone, if anyone even, will be able to stop Boise State with Ashton Jean team. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe me writing Boise State's a bad idea, but I'm risking for the biscuit. Arizona State, Texas, I have Texas winning that one. Oregon, Ohio State. And yes, you're going to tell me, oh, but Oregon won the first time. Here's the big there's a difference when you're playing a college football game in a team specific stadium versus a neutral site. And yes, you could say Oregon's going to be a bit more favored since the Rose Bowl's a lot closer to Oregon than it is to Ohio State. But it's much more new. It's still neutral because there's not really going to be much of of ISC. It's still not. It's still distanced both, and I think Ohio State will get it this time, especially being that they've lost 2 straight and probably don't want to lose 3 straight games to Oregon. And then Georgia, Indiana, I have Georgia winning that game. Ohio State, Texas, this is where I have Ohio State's run ending. Again, Texas wins. Boise State, Georgia, I stand on this one, but at the end of the day, Georgia's not had the greatest of seasons, and I think it will run out to G&T and Boise State, and I have Boise State winning it all. Is it gutsy? Yes. Am I willing to back it up? Yes. Will I take the L if I end up being wrong? Yes. Am I prepared to take an L if I'm wrong? Absolutely. We'll see how the predictions go, but they don't start till next week anyways, as it's Army-Navy week this week, and then the college football playoffs start the weekend after that. But yeah, Army-Navy game this week, which is even bigger, even that both teams are having a pretty good season. Though honestly, the line is a bit shock is like a bit high for me if you ask me. And I get like Army's had a much better season than Navy this year, but like I'll still admit it just surprises me that their line for ESPN, and I'm pretty sure even anyways. Oh, Nationals get the number 1 overall pick. Interesting. Good for Nationals. That Army is a 6.5-point favorite. Now, yes, Army did have a much better season. They did have somewhat of a better season as they went 11-1 versus Navy's 8-3. But that's still a high line for me, if you ask me. CBS also says the same thing. Honestly, I'd say Army's probably going to win the game. But then again, this is one of the most, if not the most, unpredictable rivalry in all of college football. So I don't know who's going to win, honestly. We'll have to wait and see what happens on Saturday. That game's going to be on at 3 p.m. on CBS from the Washington Commander Stadium. So honestly, we might see a whole bunch of injuries given the history of that stadium with football. And now NFL Week 14 recap. Lions beat the Packers 34-31 to clinch a playoff spot for this year and move closer and closer to clinching the division. Jared Goff is the first QB in NFL history to complete passes to 6+ different wide receivers in the game, with every one of them having at least 5 catches. Jahmyr Gibbs had 6, Tim Patrick had 6, Sam Laporta had 5, David Montgomery had 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown had 5, and Jameson Williams had 5. Dolphins beat the Jets 32-26 in overtime. First 300-yard passing game for Aaron Rodgers since December 21st of 2021. Vikings beat the Falcons, and Kirk Cousins returned to Minnesota 42-21. Sam Darnold has first career start with a passer rating above 150 in this game. He's the first QB since Jim Hart in 1973 to have a start with a passer rating above 150 after never having a game with a 130 passer rating in their first 6 NFL seasons. Justin Jefferson is the first player in NFL history with 7,000 plus receiving yards in his first 5 NFL seasons. Saints beat the Giants 14-11. There's a whole story with this game. If you don't know, apparently a Giants player, I don't know if anyone knows exactly which Giants player, supposedly not, had potentially gotten a OF model. I don't know if the word would be copyright stricken. Also, I don't necessarily want to say the term on stream, but I got a certain type of model to show up at the game to try to distract the players, which is just hilarious. And the funniest part about it is the Giants didn't even win. They lost 14. They lost to the Saints in the end on a missed field goal in the end. But definitely an odd, suspicious story out of that game. Eagles beat the Panthers 22-16. Saquon Barkley 1623 rushing yards on the season. Passes Sean McCoy 1607 in 2013 for most rushing yards in the season in Eagles history, not Phillies. Eagles history. Rams beat the Bills 44-42. Josh Allen is the first player in NFL history with 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns in a game Buffalo is also the first team in NFL history to score 6+ touchdowns without a turnover, but still lose the game. Puka Nacua is the third player in NFL history with 160+ receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, and 1 rushing touchdown in a game, joining Jerry Rice and Lance Allworth. Chiefs beat the Chargers 19-17, continuing their black magic as they won this game on a barely made field goal. Kansas City has had 3 different kickers make game-winning field goals as time expired in the fourth quarter of this season. Harrison Butker, Spencer Schrader, and Matthew Wright. No other team in NFL history has had more than 1 kicker do so in a single regular season. And the Bengals beat the Cowboys 27-20. In the last 20 seasons, only 2 times has a partially blocked punt that traveled less than 20 yards been touched by the receiving team and recovered by the punting team for a new set of downs. Both came against the Cowboys at Jerry's World, aka AT&T Stadium. One against the Broncos in 2021, and then there was the one in this game, which cost the Cowboys greatly, as that basically led the Bengals to victory. Joe Burrow in his last 5 games played 25+ passes, thrown for 250+ yards, thrown for 3+ touchdown passes, and more than 1 interception. No other QB in NFL history has done that in more than 3 consecutive games. Ja'Marr Chase now has 3 games with this year with at least 10 receptions, 175 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. No other player in NFL history has had more than 1 such game in a season. And final note from this game. This season, Bengals are the 40th team in NFL history to have at least 30 passing touchdowns in their first 12 games of a season. They are only one to do so while also winning fewer than 5 games in the season. This week in predictions, I had a very good week going 11-2 overall. I'm 139-69. Standings update, which I will not include teams' records if their division race is over. There's only two divisions that apply at the moment to the Bills and the Chiefs. AFC East, the Bills have won the division. They're trending 3 at the moment. And the AFC North, the Steelers in first place. Also, if you're eliminated, I've taken you off and will not cover your record. Steelers in first place, 10-3, followed by 8-5 Ravens, followed by the 5-8 Bengals. The Browns have been officially eliminated, by the way. In the AFC South, the Texans in first place, 8-5, followed by the 6-7 Colts. The Jaguars and Titans both have been eliminated from the playoffs. And in the AFC West, the Chiefs have won the division. They are 12-1 at the moment. Sorry about that. With the Raiders having also been eliminated from the playoffs. In the NFC East, in first place, the Eagles 11-2. They have clinched the playoff spot, followed by the 8-5 Commanders, followed by the 5-8 Cowboys. And the Giants have been eliminated already from the playoffs. In the NFC North, the Lions in first place at 12-1, having clinched the playoff spot, followed by the 11-2 Packers, followed by the 9-4 11-2 Vikings, followed by the 9-4 Packers, followed by the 4-9 Bears. In the NFC South, the Falcons in first place at 7-6. Followed by the 6-7 Buccaneers, followed by the 5-8 Saints, followed by the 3-10 Panthers. And in the NFC West, the Seahawks in first place at 8-5, followed by the 7-6 Cardinals, followed by the 6-7 Rams and 49ers. And as for the conference standings update, Chiefs in first place, Bills in second, Steelers in third, Texans, Ravens, Chargers, and Broncos all tied for fourth at 8-5. Colts and Dolphins both tied for 8th at 6-7, and the Bengals are in 10th. Every other team has been eliminated from the playoffs in the AFC. And from the NFC, Lions in first, Eagles in second, Buccaneers in third, Saints, Seahawks in third, Buccaneers in fourth, Vikings in fifth, Packers in sixth, Commanders in seventh, Rams in eighth, Falcons, Cardinals, 49ers tied for 9th, Saints and Cowboys tied for 12th, Bears at 14, Panthers at 15. And as for Week 15 predictions, Thursday Night Football, Rams at 49ers, 8-15. I have the 49ers. Sunday, Chiefs at Browns at 1 p.m. on CBS. I would love to say Browns, but I doubt they're going to be able to beat the black magic of the Chiefs. So I have Chiefs. Bengals at Titans, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Bengals. Commanders at Saints, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Commanders. Ravens at Giants, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Ravens. Cowboys and Panthers, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Cowboys. Jets at Jaguars, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Jets. Dolphins at Texans, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Texans. Colts at Broncos, 4:25 on CBS. I have the Broncos. Bills at Lions, 4:25 on CBS. I have the Lions. Steelers at Eagles, 4:25 on Fox. I have the Eagles. Patriots at Cardinals, 4:25 on CBS. I have the Cardinals. Buccaneers at Chargers, 4:25 on Fox. I have the Chargers. Sunday Night Football, Packers at Seahawks, 8:20. I have the Packers. Two Monday Night Football games this week. The first one, Bears and Vikings at 8 p.m. on ABC/ESPN Plus. I have the Vikings. And then Falcons at Raiders at 8:30 on ESPN. I have the Falcons. That is it for this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you are new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, hit notification bells, and notify when I post on there. If you're new on YouTube, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a notification bell on so you're notified when I go live and or post a new video. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'll see you next week's episode 152. Bye-bye.